Whoops. I'm here. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm alive. Oh man. I'll tell you all about it in just a moment. I just spilled hot coffee on my foot. 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday, February 20th, 2020. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Do I have a towel, napkin? No, nothing? All right. Well, I'm just going to do the show with coffee on my foot. I forgot to set an alarm. I just didn't. And I woke up exactly at 6:30. So that's kind of neat. I was laying there and I was like, man, I feel rested. This is great. I wonder what time it is. And I rolled over and opened my eyes and it was 6:30. Oh, oops. What did you say, Stacy? Morning was just over listening to the episode. I don't understand what that means. Morning was just over listening to the episode. I don't know what you mean, Stacy. Sorry. Yeah. I can't remember the last time I was this late to do the show. Oh, the episode of Martial Arts Radio. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal episode, isn't it? Everybody should go listen to that one. All right. Yeah. When was the last time I was this late to do First Cup? I don't remember. There were times, I think it was last winter, when things wouldn't work. Maybe it wasn't as long ago as last winter. I just remember having internet issues. Comcast had to run a new line. But I think that was it. It's been a long time. It's been months and months since I was more than a couple minutes late. And I think this said 7 minutes late, which really isn't that big of a deal when you think about it. But I do try to be consistent. I do try to respect the timeline that I give everyone. Hey, we do the show at 6:30. I try to be here at 6:30. I was not here at 6:30. So I'm sorry, but what are you going to do? You want your money back? Maybe I'll have to refund the advertisers. Susan, hey, stop clawing the carpet. When my cat's annoyed with me, she walks around with her claws out in the carpet, and you can hear just... And how do I know she's doing it intentionally? Because she doesn't usually do it. It's a choice. She's mad at me because I got mad at her because she was being very annoying as I was waking up. Cats. Well, yesterday was a productive day. Got a lot done. Very little of it had to do with whistlekick, unfortunately. I did come home in the evening, and here it was, 7:30 to 8:30, and I'm sitting at my desk and I'm doing work and I'm editing newsletters and I'm sending emails and I'm paying bills and just doing a bunch of stuff, just doing a bunch of work, because that's when it had to get done. As soon as I'm done with First Cup, back at my desk to do more, because this combination of Jeremy doing consulting and Jeremy running whistlekick and doing all of these other things, there's only so many hours in the day. It's funny how much all this consulting is mimicking my last consulting business. And if I follow that trend, it's not going to be long before I need an assistant. The beauty of that, though, is that this assistant will be able to help with whistlekick, too. because I look at whistlekick as my biggest client. And in doing so, it makes things much clearer on how to do it. Sorry. I'm all thrown off. It doesn't seem like this would throw me off such a big amount, but it does. Oh, Barry in the lead. I had a great podcast interview yesterday with a guy that you've probably seen. If you've ever seen a little show called Vikings, you might have seen him on there. Or this other little show that a couple people have watched called Game of Thrones. If you've seen either of those shows, you might have seen it. It was a great episode. It is rare that I get really, really excited talking to somebody. This guy killed it. So much fun. So that'll be out a few weeks. I'm recording again today. Normally we record on Tuesdays, but because we've been running with no buffer, I asked Leslie to plug somebody in on some off days just so we can build up a buffer. I mean, we need that. Because if somebody no-showed, we were going to be in trouble. We had like 4 or 5 no-shows over the course of a few weeks. It was driving us both nuts. So. I wonder how often that happens at doctor's offices. How often do people not show up for their appointments? That would drive me insane. I bet it happens often. That's probably why many of them have those. Hey, if you don't show up, we're going to bill you. Sorry. Oh, my back's tight. All right. So what else is going on today? Got an interview at 9. I'll be at my desk before that. That gives me like another hour to do work at my desk. Then I launch off into consulting world. Work with a couple clients. Yeah. All right. Questions. Question time. That's not a beer can. It's a beer can. I had a beer last night. Okay. Remember, if you want to ask a question, drop it below and I'll answer it tomorrow. All right, here's one from Gabe. Here's a true story that illustrates pretty well the relationship between price and perceived quality, which we talked about yesterday, day before. A wedding caterer figured out how much he had to charge to break even, then charge slightly more. Even though he had good reviews and served good food, he couldn't keep busy. He told a friend about his situation who advised him to double his rates. He was reluctant at first, but when he did, he had so much business he couldn't keep up. It happens all the time. It is one of the scariest things to do in a business, especially a service business. Product businesses work a little bit differently, but in a service, more of a service business like that, to raise your rates gets really scary. A lot of the clients I work with are hourly. You know, they charge their clients, if it's a service, they charge them hourly. And I will advise them, you know, let's say it's a massage therapist and they're new and they're charging $60 an hour, okay? And they're having trouble keeping up. Well, I don't know what the going rate is in your area, but around here, most massage therapists are charging $75, $80, $85, even $90 an hour. Very few are over 100. Well, if you're looking at a new massage therapist, if you're considering someone and somebody is below average on the price, you're probably going to assume they're below average on quality. And that doesn't set the expectation correctly. Because if you go in and you're expecting something to be low quality, let's think about it like a restaurant. Believe it or not, there are different McDonald's standards. You can buy different calibers of meat. I don't eat at McDonald's, but it's a good example. There are different calibers of meat that the restaurants, which are franchises, can choose from. How often do you hear people talk about, oh, that's a really good McDonald's, or that's not a very good McDonald's? I hear the conversation sometimes, but most people think of McDonald's as being very standardized because they think of it that way. The reality isn't so important as their perception. Look at cars. From all metrics, Kia and Hyundai are doing much better in reliability standards. People still don't consider those cars because when they first came to America, they were junk. Are they selling more? Yes. But they're selling to people who are trying to spend as little as possible, generally. I'm not knocking anybody who drives a Kia or a Hyundai. These are just facts. So, if you run a martial arts school and you have the lowest fees in your area, one, you need to raise them. Two, if you want help working through that, I can help you. Three, no, there's no three, just two. I've got a call tomorrow morning with a martial arts school that I'm excited about because ultimately I want the consulting to be martial arts schools. That is the intersection of my knowledge. I'm working with two right now. Very different. One's like 30 years old, the other's a year old. But yeah, it's fun. Now we've got 3 quotes here from someone who's very important to me. I don't know if I've shared this on the show. Debating the appropriateness of this. Not the quotes. Debating the appropriateness of showing you how important this person is to me. I will just tell you. So we have 3 quotes here from rapper, musician, or actor, poet, Tupac Shakur. Tupac was my favorite musician growing up. I have Tupac's first tattoo was here on his chest. I have this same tattoo. That should give you an idea of how much his music meant and means to me. So, if you let a person talk long enough, you'll hear their true intentions. Listen twice, speak once. I'm amazed at how much differently the world moves around me by speaking less. I just talk less. Yeah, here on First Cup and Martial Arts Radio, I have to talk. When I coach or teach a class, I have to talk. But other than that, I just let other people talk. I just sit back and observe. I'll contribute a joke or something once in a while. But I tend to listen more. Why? Because in the past, I felt the need to be part of the conversation. I felt the need, I had to say things. Sometimes I would say the wrong thing. I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to think I was funny. I wanted something from them, so I spoke more. And it didn't work well. If you listen long enough, people will tell you who they are. I used to be someone who needed the approval of others. I don't care anymore. Not much anyway. Listen twice, speak once. I like that. And here's, this is at the end of a song on his second album. It's a spoken part. And this is a refrain that's gotten me through some pretty rough days, and continues to get me through rough days. I haven't needed it as much of late, but through 2019, and Frank and I did not coordinate any of this. Through 2019, I'm getting emotional, with all the financial difficulties that we had, and just the, I'll be brutally honest. I mean, I was on the verge of bankruptcy, and if it was not for going back into consulting, coupled with someone giving me a loan, I would have been in big trouble. I know it seems hard sometimes, but remember one thing. Through every dark night, there's a bright day after that. So no matter how hard it gets, stick your chest out, keep your head up, and handle it. Tupac's early music is about, it's about empowerment. It's about taking control of the situation, about doing what you can for yourself and for others. Often political, often feminist. And that song, I mean, that second album to me, that is him, that defines him and who he was as a person. Of course, the song is Keep Your Head Up, which is a song about being a single mother. But it's applicable to everyone. But the idea, I mean, he didn't write, through every dark night there's a bright day. He wasn't the first one to coin that, I mean. But it's in his voice that I hear that. When things are bad, that helps me get through. This one's a little difficult to read, and in this you get to see some of his poetry and some of the ways that he experimented with language early on. A lot of his poetry is from, I mean, because he died at 25. He was 25 when he passed away, so he was young with everything he did. But the majority of his poetry, the poetry that's in books that has come out, most of that was written, 15, 16, 17. He was really young. Don't believe everything you hear. And I'll go back over this part. Real eyes realize real lies. So this is some wordplay here. Real eyes realize real lies, as in falsehoods. And it's a fancy way of saying, pay attention. There's a lot of BS out there. You have to be vigilant with what people say. Now, what's great about this is that this is going back 25 years plus, and this is what social media is. It's in a lot of cases, it is coordinated falsehood. I've actually thought often about what he would think about where we're at in the world today. He was never one to shy away from conflict or speak his mind. I think about today's music and what he would think about that, but more so politically. He wouldn't be in the background. And We could use somebody like him right now, I think. I refuse to discuss politics or things like that on this show or at any part of a whistle kick. But I think regardless of who you are and what you look at and how you perceive it, I think everyone would agree that things are pretty screwed up right now. And it's hard to know what's honest and what's not. I try to follow the money. I try to follow the motivation. If someone has a financial motivation for doing something, I generally distrust them. The more money involved, the less I trust them. So, wow, there's a good way to start the day. I think once we're done here, I'm gonna put some Tupac music on and get dressed and start doing some work. I appreciate that one, Frank. All right. Homework. Yeah, I've got some homework for you. Yeah, hang tight. I got a homework element for you here. All right, remember, we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, except when I wake up late, which hopefully will not happen again. So tune in, drop questions. If you have a question or a comment or something you want me to respond to, leave it under today's episode. I'll respond to it tomorrow. If you're listening to this in audio form, yes, you can download this as a podcast. Go ahead and email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. If you want to support Whistlekick, all the things that we've got going on over here, and I hope you'll consider it. 2 easy ways to do that. Well, I'll throw a third at you. Let people know about what we do. Just tell a friend. Secondly, make a purchase at whistlekick.com. Use the code FIRSTCUP15 if you want. You can save 15%. And then, of course, we've got the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. You can throw us a few bucks a month and just say, hey, thanks for doing what you do. Subscribe, turn on notifications. I don't think I said that. Stacy says, have a good day. Crank up the tunes and know you are loved. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate it. Stacy and her counterpart in Team Smashy Smash absolutely destroyed it. They probably broke an entire tree last weekend based on everything the photos I saw. They're absolutely amazing. 2 very amazing, powerful women. All right, so here's your homework. I suspect all of you have a musician or maybe a motivational speaker or maybe a book that makes you feel the way that those quotes made me feel today. And your homework is to listen to that music or read something from that book or listen to that speaker or maybe watch a bit of that movie or that TV show. Something that makes you feel grounded and strong, powerful. Go do that. The world deserves that and needs that. So do you. We all do. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.